We're MPH, and this is the road to Miatas at the Gap.
Beautiful morning, everyone. From this moment, we are officially 49 days away from Miatas at the Gap, which means the clock is ticking. When we first started this series, we had like 70 something days left, and now that's almost cut in half, and my motor is still out of the car. This car is still getting worked on. We still got a bunch of projects that we got to get done. Customer just dropped off this car to get his motor swapped, so we're going to be working on that, intertwined with this other stuff. But today, the plan is to finish getting this motor buttoned up. This is the new motor that's going in here. Once it's buttoned up, we're gonna get the trans mated to it, and hopefully if everything goes well, we're gonna drop the motor in. I know I always say, oh, we're gonna do this today, we're gonna do it tomorrow, we'll get this done by the end of the week, and it doesn't happen, but the clock's ticking, so I gotta start pushing myself a little harder. This motor has to get dropped in this car by the end of today. So that's what we're working on today, get this stuff buttoned up, get the clutch on there, get the trans, get it in the car. Now I'm gonna spend a couple minutes working on the new motor. I gotta swap a couple parts off the old motor onto the new one. Since we're going from an NA motor to an NB motor, there's a couple things that we have to use from here onto here. So I'm gonna get started on that and see what we could get done on here right now. So I got one of the parts here that we have to swap from the old motor onto the new one, which is the injector harness. It has a bunch of plugs on it, and just found some really sketchy shit here. Where'd it go? Okay, so here's the injector plugs. You see these two first plugs right here, they're actually just crimped and connected really sketchily. And this one's even just came apart, so that was a really loose connection. And I'm glad it held up, but now what I'm gonna do is just fix all these connections, clean up this harness, just make it look a little better, and then get it installed on that motor right there. All right, so I just finished up cleaning up this harness and covered it with some fabric harness tape, just so it looks way better, way cleaner, and fixed up all those janky connections on there. And now it's ran under here, under the fuel rail, plugging into all the injectors. So now I'm gonna finish getting the fuel rail hooked back up. I gotta do one little modification for it, for the swap, and then we're gonna be able to get this put back together and start working on the next part. Just cleaning up some of the rusty engine components. As you can see, all that rust falling out of here. And that's just because a lot of this shit's rusty. So as you guys saw, we painted the bay and we got a lot of new bolts and stuff like that, just because I'm trying to make it as clean as possible while I do it. You know, I'm not trying to go for a show car here, but you know, we have everything else, so we might as well make it nice once and then just do our best to keep it clean afterwards. So, you know, that's why I'm over here cleaning off all the pulleys with steel wool. We got our ultrasonic cleaner over there that we've been putting our bolts in. We got a bunch of new nuts and bolts, just give it that nice gold shiny look. And we're gonna paint this water pump pulley. Yeah, I know. Now time to take this motor off the stand so we can get the clutch put on and get the trans mated onto here, and it's gonna be ready to go in. All right, she's free. She's swinging. Now we have to do the clutch. Before we do the clutch, we're gonna swap out this rear main seal. Very important. For those of you that don't know, this is your rear main seal. It's very important, and it's very commonly leaks. As you can tell, mine looks like it's leaking already. And now anytime you pull your clutch off, you should change this seal, because if you don't, it's gonna leak and you're gonna have to pull your trans again, drop your clutch, and I've seen it happen before and it's really not fun. So just trust me on this. Seal is $5. If you're doing your clutch, change your main seal. You'll thank me later, or you won't, because if you didn't do it, you'll probably just be cursing yourself out. So we're gonna change the main seal. We're probably even gonna take off this top part right here, this little moon, and replace the seal back there, because I'm pretty sure we have it. So yeah, so that's next right there. So in this box right here by my feet, we have our clutch, and that's a full Amazon clutch kit, which I'm gonna show you guys. It's basically the cheapest full clutch kit you can get, and we're doing it for science, because I know a lot of people don't have $1,000 to spend on a clutch. So I went and bought the cheapest one, and I did it for you guys so I could test if it works. So if it's good, I can recommend it to you guys. You can go spend $200, get a full clutch kit and flywheel. If it's not good, then you guys will know from my mistakes that you get what you pay for. So that's gonna be a nice little science experiment. And then in this box, I got my little goodie pack, like a little goodie bag from Treasure Coast Miata. Right here, I ordered so much stuff from them. They have OEM parts, timing belt kits, seals, basically almost anything you could need for a Miata, they have it in stock. So I got my brand new OEM front main seal from them. And I always go OEM with these because the aftermarket ones do leak a lot. And then we got an ACT throwout bearing and a new pilot bearing as well. So this is all just stuff that I know with the cheap clutch kit is gonna come in there. The clutch disc and the flywheel itself is one thing, but when it comes to the bearings and the throwout bearing and the pilot bearing, those you really don't want aftermarket or cheap, so we went with good stuff from Treasure Coast Miata. We're gonna pair that with the Amazon clutch kit, and we're gonna see how it goes. Put a new seal, and I threw the other one in the trash because I don't wanna leave that thing lying around and have someone use it. Okay, now they do make a special tool for getting this seal on, but guess what? I don't have it. And I don't think you really need it because pretty much just goes right in. You might have to like tap it in a little bit with something, but just have to be gentle with it so you don't mess up the sealing surface of the seal. But I'm gonna go get something to try to just tap it in gently. I got my little PDR hammer right here, and it's just really soft hammer, so it's not gonna really damage anything. So just go all the way around and just tap it in. Like I said, they do make a tool for this. Treasure Coast Miata actually sells it on their website. It's basically just like a big plate that bolts into the holes right here for the flywheel. And then basically as you compress it, it just pushes them in. But as you can tell, we're getting it done with the hammer and it's going in, so should be good here.
All right.
Let's crack that bad boy open.
Amazon clutch kit.
Amazon clutch kit, let's go. This clutch is stage 2. Here's what we got here. We get the XTD clutch, and it comes with an installation guide, which is great, you know, in case you don't know what you're doing. Always read the manual. We got our XTD sticker. Now here's what we've been waiting for. I'm so excited for this, but I'm also nervous. It's just a nice little science experiment.
And like, why not? Like, you know, it's not like it was crazy expensive. It was what, $200?
Yeah, I mean, what's the worst that happens? The clutch explodes and destroys the transmission. I mean,
could be worse.
Could be worse, honestly.
Could be better.
We'll see. Okay. So what are we thinking off first look?
It's heavy.
That's just the pressure plate. So
Nothing fancy.
Nothing-
it's red.
nothing fancy.
Your favorite color, so that's cool.
sure, yeah.
Looks like
For some reason, the red feels cheap on here because like the nice clutches, you got the Super Miata, which is orange. You got the Flying Miata, which is purple. You got the ACT, which is yellow, but I don't know.
the red's giving eBay.
Yeah, the red's giving eBay, but
But,
all right,
you know.
let's keep cracking down. This looks like the pressure plate. We went with a Kevlar organic disc. So it's supposed to give kind of like a stock feel, but just with a little more bite and hold a little more power and last a lot longer than the regular organic.
Nice.
I mean, probably shouldn't be touching this with greasy hands, but
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
that looks nice. Pretty happy with that. Here, now the clutch and the flywheels, or the clutch and the pressure plate is one thing, but everyone knows that when you're buying a clutch kit, the flywheel is what gets you. You could spend $300 on a clutch and $400 on a flywheel, especially if you're going with a lightweight, which this is a lightweight. From what I think it's like a 10 pound, so it's not as light. Your clutch alignment tool, and did come with a bearing too, but we're probably not going to use that bearing. Like I said, we got a new bearing from Treasure Coast Miata right here. It's actually an ACT one. So yeah, that's those good brands that I was just talking about. There's our throwout bearing, which also we're not going to use that because, again, we got the ACT one. And yeah, I mean, we're going to not throw it out. We'll still hold on to it.
Trash.
But let's see. Let me see that flywheel. Come on, it's only 10 pounds. It's not that heavy, it's lightweight.
All right, we got 6 bolts.
Nice.
Nice, nice.
I mean, it actually looks pretty good. I mean, like, it's a flywheel, you know? Like, how bad could it really be? You got your flywheel, a pressure plate, and a clutch.
A big old piece of metal.
I really don't know what's the worst that could happen for $250. Like,
it cracks in half.
I mean, yeah, maybe, but like, why would that happen?
I don't know. It's a fucking Miata. It's like 10 horsepower.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's like 10 horsepower, so.
Maybe if it was like not stock.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, it is going to be supercharged, so we'll see if that clutch holds up. But honestly, I got faith in this clutch. I really have faith in this clutch kit. Having some trouble getting it to align, so it's either me not knowing what I'm doing or it's that this is the reason why this clutch is cheap. So let's see if we get it all aligned. I might have just put this in wrong, but there we go. So we got our clutch alignment tool on there. Yeah, it looks like it should fit perfectly. I just wasn't doing it right. Okay,
Ready?
Clutch is on now. We gotta get the trans ready, get the throttle bearing in there, and get the clutch fork put on, and then they're gonna get mated together and be together forever, or until this $200 Amazon clutch blows up.
What you doing, Danny?
17 mil on the bottom of the transmission. Then the transmission.
Transmission.
Transmission. Here we go. At long last, this motor is ready to get dropped in the car, and the car is ready for the motor to get dropped in. So we got that bay cleaned up. We're still gonna clean up some of these wirings and get them wrapped better, but we got the bay cleaned up, we got it painted. That's really it. Most of the work went into the motor. Otherwise, we got all new seals on here, new timing belt, new water pump, new alternator. Just kidding, I just painted it, but it's relatively new. We got a new clutch in there, got the trans all cleaned up. We're just gonna get her dropped in for now, and then that's gonna call it for today. We're gonna get her in the car, mount it up, and then tomorrow we start hooking stuff up and hopefully get her running soon. Here it is, guys, BP4W going in the NA8. And for those of you guys that are curious, to put a NB BP4W in an NA8, it's actually pretty simple. Really just have to switch the cam sensor, you have to switch the injector harness, a couple things with the fuel rail. Really not much, honestly. It's really just a couple things, small things really, that you could take off your old motor if you're swapping one, and yeah, so you're ready to go. So we're gonna get the car jacked up and start getting this thing in there.
It's time.
So after all that work, everything's coming together now. We're gonna get this motor in the car, and we're gonna see how it looks in the bay. I think it's gonna look really good. Hopefully this all goes smooth, which I think it will. And hopefully it doesn't have to come out again for any reason. For tonight, we're just gonna get the mounts mounted in. We're not gonna be hooking up any wires or lines or anything. I'm just gonna save all that for tomorrow because it's getting late and we got some other stuff to do. So we're gonna get this thing in. We got a time lapse going and we'll get some clips along the way. All right, guys, I got the foam job. I'm underneath the car, guiding it in. So I'm gonna see if I can get a good angle here and just set the phone down, and we'll see if that's gonna be a good clip or not. All right.
It's coming.
On stop. Can you push it forward more? Hold on. Okay, lower. That one's in. She's in.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys.
That was really smooth.
The motor's in. What did that take? 10 minutes? Not even?
Not even.
Ooh. Let's go. All right, so nothing's mounted up, obviously, guys. I mean, none of this. The PPF is not even in here. But the motor's in the car. I'm gonna get out from under here and give you guys a view from the top. I cannot wait to see this. All right, so me and the boys, we just got the motor in like 10 minutes, it felt like. From the time that we started jacking up that to this is literally like 10 minutes. So just goes to show that like pulling the motor and putting it in is not the hard part. That's honestly the easy part.
It really is.
It's getting everything connected, get everything prepped. I mean, it took me like 2 weeks just to prep the motor. Granted, I had other stuff going on too. So now, just more work. I mean, we're gonna get this thing running soon, hopefully. That's the plan, so.